Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Casual Sports Podcast. I'm Alek, Koberna. As always, that's Matt Morrison over there. Welcome into the Thursday edition. It's 4:21. And unfortunately, most of the baseball games going on here on YSNLive.com tonight were canceled across, at least down here at Bob Scene Park. Matt, I think you're frozen on your end. Oh, no,
I'm here.
Moving. But, Matt, how's it going
here.
down on your end? Got some great sports going on every day.
Yeah. I'm just hanging around here. There's nothing going on. Games canceled. I'm supposed to have one tomorrow, so hopefully we can get that in. Tomorrow's supposed to be nice, so hopefully we can get that in. Brookfield's playing tomorrow in Brookfield, so this should be nice. I haven't called a game in a long time, and I want to get out and call another game. So I've had all these cancelizations or schoolwork getting in the way. I'm like, I got to finish this. I can't call all night. Or when I really want to call, it gets canceled. I'm like, no.
Right. Once your schedule actually opens up, you're like, all right, I can go do it. Ow, dang it, it rained.
So it's just Mother Nature doesn't want me to call.
Apparently not. Well, Matt, on the bright side, at least when it comes to calling these games, looks to be we may have left the last of the cold behind us. They're saying maybe another little cold break, but not as bad as we've had. I think next Tuesday, Wednesday. I think I saw something potentially later on next week. I'm hoping that'll change. But, I mean, we got 83-degree weather Saturday, 85 on Sunday. It's going to be a gorgeous weekend. I'm sure everyone's going to be out watching some baseball down at Scene Park. I know I will be there. I got a doubleheader this weekend on Saturday. So it should be a lot of fun and should be great weather for baseball. That's the big thing. Finally, great weather for baseball.
It should be. I did see some rain in forecast for Saturday, though.
Saturday? Ooh, it's not popping up on mine just yet, but
okay.
I got it on.
I did see it.
Monday,
it was earlier. It was earlier in the week. So
well, hopefully that got. I mean, that's probably what's pushed now to either what came today or what got pushed to Monday.
Yeah, probably.
I had to guess. But let's go ahead and jump into the Horizon League baseball here. I'm going to take a look first at UIC coming into the weekend. They sit 12-17 overall. They got a doubleheader going up against Milwaukee and a doubleheader against Wright State. They're playing 4 games in 2 days. That's going to be a rough schedule for those guys. They beat Purdue earlier this week on Tuesday, 9-6. It was a good one for them in Chicago. And they did just get 2 out of the 3 games against Wright State in their last series. They took 2 out of 3 against Oakland. UIC is definitely a good squad. This is a big weekend, though, for them. And I think that many games, in my opinion, I think they probably split both. They probably go 2-2 this weekend in total.
Yeah, they very well could. I mean, USC's they're not a bad team. I've been keeping up on them, so hopefully they can bounce back here. Did you say they beat Purdue?
Yeah, they did beat Purdue 9-6.
Oh, that's cool.
I think they might take the series against Milwaukee, just take both games on it. But I think going back into Wright State again in that Curtis Granderson Stadium in Chicago, I think they're going to struggle a little bit just based on the amount of games that they've had to play at this point.
Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see.
Days, that's going to be exhausting. I'd like to see them pull off 3 out of those 4. I think that'd be really great for their program. But I think that's a hard task to ask for out of college students going into a weekend. Obviously, just like us, they're getting ready for their finals too. They've had classes all week. They've had to travel across the country this week, and the travel days there as well. They're going from Wisconsin on Saturday to back to Chicago on Sunday. So going back and forth. I know it's only one day, but when you got a 3 p.m. game in Wisconsin, then you got a noon game the next morning. It's going to be a rough task for this team to do, and you're really going to see what this team is made of going through that series. And a lot of teams here in the Horizon League actually doing these double headers this weekend, so we're going to see a lot of this, I think. And on the side of Milwaukee, they're going to be doing one of these. They're coming into the weekend, 13-17 overall. They have the doubleheader to start, as mentioned, up there in Wisconsin against UIC on Saturday. Then Sunday, they get to stay out there in Wisconsin, and Youngstown State comes to visit. So I think out of this weekend for Milwaukee, let's see, what's Youngstown State? They got the doubleheaders? Yeah. Hold on. Youngstown State's actually got a little bit easier of the doubleheader. So I would say YSU can take both those games. I think Milwaukee has a chance to steal one. So I think they probably end this weekend 1-3 in their battles, with 2 against UIC, 2 against Youngstown State.
Yeah, they could very well. Yeah.
The one thing that's going to be their benefit is that they're
Milwaukee's.
just going to be able to kind of hang out and play in Wisconsin the whole time. They don't have to make lots of travel. It's just still a lot of games to play in one weekend.
Yeah, and that's going to take a toll on some teams. I'm looking here, like you said, too, at Milwaukee. Like, Milwaukee's, they're going to have to play some tough teams. Like, going back with UIC and Youngstown State, like you're saying, like, USC just beat Purdue. Now Milwaukee has to play them. Like, I'd be terrified. They just beat a Big Ten team. They put up 9 runs against a Big Ten team, too. They didn't just win like a 1-0. They scored 9 runs.
Yeah.
9. So
that's a big ask to do. But the next one up here, the Northern Kentucky Norris baseball squad, 13-21 for them. Their doubleheaders start tomorrow. They got 2 at Fort Wayne, and they're going to come back actually on the road again on Saturday in a doubleheader against Wright State, who will then go on to take on the next day against UIC. So it's a big weekend for the Horizon League, their first real conference weekend where they're just throwing every game at us. I think in this series, I think Purdue Fort Wayne is going to sweep them, and I think Wright State probably takes a game. So I got the Norris coming out 1-3 out of this weekend too. I think they're a good squad, but Purdue Fort Wayne's been getting hot for some reason, and I think Wright State's got a solid squad.
yeah, Wright State's pretty good. I like what they have done on the season. I've been keeping tabs on all of these teams because we're talking about them, so I might as well take a look at what they're doing. But yeah, Wright State, that's gonna be a tough battle.
Yeah, it'll be a hard one. But Oakland, the next team, 17-18 coming into the weekend. Their doubleheader starts Friday against Youngstown State. At this point, I think I'd probably give both of those games to Oakland. I know I already gave Youngstown State a sweep later in the weekend, so I think YSU can go 2-2, split the weekend up a little bit. And then Oakland's got Purdue Fort Wayne. And you know what? I think they split that 1-1. So I got Oakland coming out of this thing 3-1. I also got Purdue Fort Wayne coming out of the weekend 3-1 in this weekend series too. So I think we got it's going to be a good weekend for a couple teams here in the Horizon League.
Yeah, most definitely. I don't got a whole lot on this. You look at it more than I do. So
yeah, well, not a whole lot to look at. It's just, a couple simple things here and there. Youngstown State, though, their series coming up this weekend. As mentioned, Oakland and Milwaukee. I said I think they'd split. So other than that, I think we got we get Fort Wayne out of the way. Yeah, I talked about them. All right, well, that doesn't. Horizon League checked off the list. It's just our Tuesday, Thursday check-in. We go take a little bit of look what's going on there.
Yeah.
Obviously, still super early in the season. It's we're not going to get too deep into it. Your standings have Wright State on top. Purdue Fort Wayne, though, is kind of the team I'm watching because they have done a lot better. I think they're 6-5 in their last 11 games, and most of those have come throughout Horizon League play and their wins. So getting those win totals up, I think they're going to be a team that's going to shock some people here in the next month or so as they get closer and closer up the ladder and go on to take on teams like UIC, like Oakland and Wright State. I think they're going to have some shots to potentially pull some big upsets here in the Horizon League this season.
Very much so, yeah.
Alrighty, well, then let's go ahead and start off with baseball. We've done a lot of playoffs here for the NBA and NHL, so let's get into baseball to finally start off one of these. Bunch of games going on right now, actually, already. Mets are
Cleveland's on.
The Giants 5-1 after 3 innings. That's huge for them. Francisco Lindor, I believe, had a home run back in the first inning to give the Mets that 1-0 lead. And, I did not see this. Apparently, was this last night? Yeah, the Texas Rangers turned a triple play last night.
Yeah, I saw that
I didn't see that. I'm just looking at the articles right now, and it has that one, and I go, wow, that's crazy. But, yeah, right now, Mets up big over the Giants. Matt, you think they can hold on there?
The Mets? Are you talking about the game?
That lead?
I'm sure they could, yeah. But the thing with the Mets, they always start off on these hot streaks. They always start off that year clicking and they're scoring and they're doing really well now. It always falters. So until I see something different, I'm not going to be on their boat. Neither is Mike. Mike
Well,
was talking
my
about it
opinion,
yesterday.
man, the Mets are 9-4 to start. Look at that run
Yeah.
differential, plus 26. That is the second highest mark in all of baseball, just behind the Dodgers and actually just ahead of the team they're beating right now, the San Francisco Giants. I think the one thing that was missing from this team last year was their ability to score, and you're seeing their ability to score come to the forefront here in the early parts of this season. I think that's going to be a big step for this New York Mets team. Like last year, it was putting everything together, building this squad up. This year, it's put the pedal down. Let's go. What do we got going for it? I really like this team this season for the Mets. I know we've kind of been up and down on them, but I think you've seen this team being a legit threat here early in the season. Their wins aren't just meaningless against the Orioles, or they're doing it against bad teams like Miami or Cincinnati. They've been getting some good games in there, and I think what they're doing right now to the Giants proves that this is a team that can do something. So I like the Mets. I think they're going to hold on to this game here today and take it. I mean, already up 5-1. I think that's a pretty solid hold. Next game,
It's a good start.
against the White Sox, up 2-1.
2-1.
Top of the fourth inning. Is that home or away?
We're at home, I think.
Okay, we're at home, so that means what? So the White Sox got two guys on the corners with two away, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I got. Two. It's a full count. Please
Give us
sacks
the
on the mound.
rundown, man.
Please sacks on the mound. It's a 3-2 count of 2 outs.
Are you watching the game or just looking at it?
I'm just looking at it.
Okay. Well, now this is just awkward silence. But
I was just wait. Something happened.
Oh
no.
There's
Something happened with the Yankees. I got them all here. Runner got on with. I think Detroit's got a runner on now.
Yeah, they do. We'll get down to there in a minute.
There we go. He got out. Strikeout. Got out of the inning.
There we go. How do you feel? Another AL Central championship.
It was a full count. Yes. Hey, listen.
We still got to
win
take down
today,
the White Sox, though. That's going to be the big one, I think.
I mean, we took them down yesterday twice, and we
How
took
about
them down
this? The White Sox on a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah.
Thanks to the tribe here, actually, or the guards. Pardon me. We forced the White Sox into a differential -5. They were up there in the plus category before taking us on here.
Yeah. Franmil Reyes had a huge home run that put him up 2-0. So, all right.
Yeah, I mean, the Guardians this season, man, top 3 in hitting. They look to be just absolutely rolling. I love what I'm seeing out of this team so far this season.
Me too.
A lot of people into pitching. They're top 10 in pitching as well this season. In ERA right at 3. I think that's something you can live with right now. And they've only had one scenario so far in the season where they've had to go, or actually 2 attempts this season where they've even been in a game close enough to go ahead and look for the save. They got one of them, missed the other. You look at the teams above us when it goes to pitching standings. The Dodgers are number 1. They've had 5 games where they had to potentially get a shave. The New York Yankees, they've had 7 games. 7 out of their 12 games have been that close enough where somebody has a chance to earn a save. The Mets are another one. They've had 4. The Orioles are somehow a team that is good at pitching this year. If only they could hit the baseball, it'd be great for them. The Giants are ahead of us, but 6 saves there. And the Mariners and the Cardinals are the other 2 teams ahead of us, and they have 3 save opportunities so far this season. When you talk about a team that hasn't had to be in those scenarios, it's Cleveland. There's only a handful of teams right now. It's 6 teams that have had 2 or less save opportunities on the season, and Cleveland is one of them. The other teams, the Rangers, the Pirates, the Twins, the Reds, and the Diamondbacks. And the reason for that is they've been blown out in all their games. You look at the ERAs of all those squads, none of them are even close to what Cleveland is doing this year up on the mound. It is truly a great season for this team and what they're doing out there.
I truly believe that.
So far is the big key there.
Like when we played the Giants, I mean, the Giants are just an all-around solid team, and, they showed it to us. So we're a young team. We're still trying to get everybody together, but we're beating everybody else. We're beating the White Sox. We're about to sweep the White Sox if we hang on to that. Hopefully, yeah. Like, I know it's early now. I mean, we just got through 10 games. So, but right now it's like, let's go, let's keep going. Everybody's like, oh, White Sox will have the AL. I'm like, you don't know that. You don't know that at all.
I mean, I think we
Cleveland
came
won't
into
be
the
good.
season, though, and you were looking at the way things were going in the AL Central, and you saw the Chicago White Sox. You saw how much they were spending, and you saw what they did last year, and you see, okay, well, they're bringing back guys. They've added a little bit, and you've shown a willingness to make acquisitions, make moves. I think a lot of people got excited by that, and I think, I'm one of those. We were sitting here before the season starts, kind of breaking down these different scenarios going on, and a lot of it had to do with what we thought these payrolls were going to look like for these teams. We were talking Cleveland, bottom 33 in the league, and White Sox, top 10 in the league in that spending. And now you see these two teams with the same record. If Cleveland wins today, they take over first place. Still just a dozen games in. There's a lot that can change up, and we're still super early, so it's impossible to tell what this season's going to be. But I think it's a great start for Cleveland, and I think part of what this is going to be is Cleveland just spent money. I mean, we just decided to spend our money to hang on to our guys this year. And that's one thing you've never seen out of Cleveland. We don't keep guys. But, hey, we just did it. And I think that's a shift in mentality with this team. And kind of as I was saying before this thing was getting going and we were in spring training, Cleveland is in the best opportunity they've had in decades to bring in a new fan base, maybe outside of the World Series, but you rebranded. Yeah, you lost some, but you have this awesome opportunity to rebrand yourself that very few teams ever get. You pick one name and one logo, one thing, and that's your thing for 100 years. Look out to LA Dodgers. They've been the Dodgers since they were in Brooklyn, and I think before they were Brooklyn, I think they were something else. You get this rebranding chance that no team really gets. In Cleveland, at the moment, they've brought in young guys. They've brought in exciting guys. They have good pitching, and they're hitting. They're doing everything right now.
They're hitting.
Build that fan base, which gets them more money, which means they can spend more money. They're putting themselves in an opportunity at the moment to go from a market that's probably, all in all, a medium market to potentially turn themselves into a large market if they put this team up into the playoffs this year and make that run into at least the ALCS, I think is where this team needs to be for this season to be a success. I know that sounds like a lot. Oh, they have to get into the playoffs. They got to win the ALDS or wild card to get there. And then they got to go into the ALCS in a really great American League, it seems, this season. But I think that's the ultimate goal of what this franchise needs to be this year. I'm not going out there and say this is a World Series team, but from what we've seen so far, I think it's very rational
We're
to
a
say
wild card team right now.
This is a playoff team.
Oh, yeah, very much so we are.
I don't think wild
team.
card. I think we're better than wild card. I mean, if we're already fighting with Chicago and we're kicking their rear end in the first series we've seen from them, I think that this opens the door to really make that rationalization go, no, this is a team that can play. We've seen what they can do at their best. Now it's just going to be sustainability. Can they sustain this offensive onslaught in great pitching? We've seen the pitching hold up for about a third of the season before, and then completely fall off. We've seen the hitting go ice cold for 3/4 of a season. We've seen the best now of Cleveland. When's the worst going to come around? And that's what's really going to tell us what this team is made of.
Yes, absolutely. Now I like these guys that we have. I mean, we're getting guys on base. We are. I mean, Ahmed Rosario has an on-base percentage of .277. That's good. Miles Straw, this dude came out of nowhere too. We picked him up last year. This guy was a hidden gem that we got. See, a lot of people look at the batting average. I always look at the on-base percentage. His on-base percentage is .434. Ramirez is .479 on-base percentage. Owen Miller can get on base with what is it? I think it's .545, and Stephen Kwan's .524. Like, keep getting on base.
Point with that, Cleveland right now is 4th place in Major League Baseball in on-base percentage. You put them on-base percentage plus slugging, they become 2nd in baseball right now behind the Colorado Rockies.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
That is the way to do it. And I mean, overall, then you look at team ERA stats, and then you got Cleveland, as previously mentioned, a pretty good mark so far on the season. It's loading here, pardon me. Yeah, they were sitting 8 with that 3.0. You then look at the Colorado Rockies, they're back at 396 in 20th place. So you look at the two best hitting teams, and one is clearly better. And I think you've just seen some hard opponents that Colorado's had to go against. But I think we're in a very competitive NL West this season as well. I mean, you're already looking at those top 4 teams all making the run. Colorado was the one that got left out last season. They were gone by a landslide by the time we got anywhere close to October. So I think they're going to be here to stick around for a while. And I know we were talking a lot about the AL East before the season, maybe the hardest one to run through. Well, Colorado's just made the NL West the most difficult one to win.
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to point out there that in the recent power rankings, they put the Chicago White Sox at number 5, and we're handling them very, very
What's
quite,
Cleveland
frankly, here. Cleveland is, let's look. They're not, the Yankees are in front of them. The Cardinals are in front of them. The Red Sox are in front of them. The Brewers, Angels, they are sitting at, they put the Tigers in front of them.
What? They're 4
They're
and
sitting
7.
at 20. They're sitting
They
at
lost
20.
3 games in a row. They've lost 7 of their last 10.
They're sitting at 20.
I don't get that.
Neither do I. They even dropped. They were 18.
My game got canceled tonight, and I got some stuff I got to do before I get around to it. But I think if you go check out my Twitter page tonight, Alek Koberna, I'm going to put out my power rankings for baseball again. I didn't do a solo show this week, but I think I'm going to go in and do those power rankings again. They'll come out tonight on Twitter. We'll say 8 p.m. We'll send them out tonight on Twitter. Alek Koberna power rankings here for the Casual Sports Podcast. Let's get some better power rankings.
At one. They got that
that's
right.
Terrible. At 20? Are you kidding me? That's awful.
At 20.
That's just ridiculous. When you look at a team that's top 10 in both pitching and hitting, and they're 20th? What kind of power ranking is that?
You know who's at 21? The Marlins. They put us with the
They're
Marlins.
saying the Marlins are almost as good as Cleveland. That is a joke. What website are you on? MLB.com?
This is ESPN I'm looking at.
There's your first mistake.
Guess who's last?
Who's last place?
Yeah.
Since you're cackling like that, they're either having Pittsburgh or Cincinnati.
It's not Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is 27. Cincinnati's 29.
Oh, Texas?
Baltimore.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, that will probably
26.
also be the last place team on my squad. Actually, no, the Reds will be my last place squad. They've lost 9 in a row. Talk about starting absolutely terrible. 2-11 so far in the season. And you've lost.
I called it.
One game in your last.
You're the
10.
one that's saying they were going to have a competitive season. I'm like, no way.
Yeah, well, you know what? I know baseball. I don't really know the teams all that great every now and then. I picked the Rangers to be my dark horse this season. They're 2-9 as well, so.
You remember that year where we
did a real dark horse if they turn this around?
Remember that year when we did the way too early NFL rankings for a summer show, and you had the Rams finishing like a 2-3 win team, and they ended up going like 13-3.
I think that was the same season. I gave the Cardinals 4 wins, and they had like 13 as well.
Oh my goodness!
Look, I'm also the guy that called Joe Burrow bust before, when he was getting drafted. Yeah. So, you can say one thing about me. I got the hottest takes in sports, baby. I may not be right about him, but damn it if I'm not passionate about him.
Hey, man. I mean, I've been sticking with Zion as a bust. So
we'll see on that one. I'm catching on. I'm catching on with you on that bust there. But Tigers and the Yankees going at it right now still. They're 2 guys on for the Tigers with 2 away as they lead the Yankees 1-0. I'd love to see that win. Get one from the AL Central, kind of bolster them up a little bit. Detroit needs it. They've lost 3 in a row. They got a piss-poor differential down -16 so far in the early parts of this season. They need to get that thing turned around. Just 4-7 overall. This is a point of the season when you got Kansas City kind of looking like they're going to be a hotter team. They've won 3 in a row now, sitting at 500. I think they're going to be sitting at 500, probably teeter-tottering on that all the way to the All-Star break if I have a feeling that that'll be anything close to right. We'll see how
Where is the All-Star game this year?
Where is it?
Yeah.
I want to say like Los Angeles or something. Oh, no, they're going to do it Coors Field.
Oh, sweet.
They're going to be at Colorado.
Oh, wow.
That'll be a fun one. I like it. But yeah, Tigers left two guys stranded. They went down. So actually, no, that was the Yankees. Yankees left them stranded. It was top of the fifth. I bought them. All right.
Good.
So yeah, Tigers hold on there. I like that one. Yankees though, first place in the AL East. They haven't been terribly impressive so far, but
they're in first.
I do want to throw something out here from yesterday. Mike was pointing out to you that if Aaron Judge was on the Guardians, you would like him. You were hard denying that. That is 100% cap. You're lying. Straight out straight double squiggly letter, Matt. If Cleveland was the team that had drafted Aaron Judge and he came up our farm system, you would love Aaron Judge.
No.
You would be the first guy in line to buy an Aaron Judge jersey. Matt, I know you sometimes better than you know yourself. You would absolutely love Aaron Judge if he came through.
Bringing up through the farm system is different. He said if we traded for him. If we traded for him, I wouldn't be a happy camper.
That's just one thing. You guys were talking yesterday about you hating Aaron Judge.
He didn't say farm system. Farm system's different. I'm getting like everybody comes up through our farm system. But if they play for the Yankees, I just hate him automatically. And we wouldn't trade for him. First of all, we're not going to spend all that money on a guy who strikes out a lot. So
yeah, that's one thing. This has been a roster that they've really gone against the strikeout this season when it has come to hitting. I think that's one big thing that this team
we've done it before.
We've
spent money on people like that before with Edwin Encarnacion, and even if you want to throw Mike Napoli in there. Yeah, that too. Him too.
Lindor struck out a lot.
I'm talking about signing guys. I'm talking about bringing guys in. But, like, there was the whole Mike Napoli. Mike Napoli had a lot of strikeouts. Like, I love Mike Napoli. I have the Party at Napoli shirts. But he hit some homers, too. But, he struck out a lot, too. And so did Edwin Encarnacion. He was supposed to be our replacement for Napoli after he left or retired. So...
yeah, and it's one thing, and I saw this last night. I was calling the South Range and Ursuline game. Phenomenal one, by the way. If you didn't see it, go check that out on ysnlive.com. I think you got to buy it, but it's worth the $3 I think that you have to pay for it. Absolutely phenomenal game. And the one difference between the two squads, and I think what ultimately led to the win, one team was aggressive, first pitch swinging, and they were just stealing bases and going at it. And that was South Range. And Ursuline, they kind of played passive in that game. They let everything come to them. They weren't aggressive on the bags. And as a result, they dropped that one 5-2. But it was a great game. Dylan Dominguez gets the save. And you're looking at Cleveland right now and, other teams in baseball, especially Cleveland. And you get those strikeouts right now. Just 89 strikeouts, which is bottom 5 in the league when it comes to strikeouts at the plate. Cincinnati is in first place by no surprise, actually tied with the Los Angeles Angels, the Padres up there, the Orioles, and the Braves, all top 5 this season right now in striking out at the plate, all over 120 strikeouts right now. So you look, that's a huge disparity. That's 50 strikeouts between these top teams. So I love that right now for Cleveland. But with New York, Matt, you do have to give them credit. They do find ways to win games. Sitting 500, though,
they're tied for first,
500 in their last 10. They're going to be a good team. You're going to see them kind of go up and down, I think, all season. That just seems to be kind of how this team always, operates. It's always up and down. They're 10th in baseball right now when it comes to striking out. So they do need to clean that up, but that's always been a problem with them. And their on-base percentage is just 643. Their batting average, is 218. So that is pretty down there. But I think they're going to be a team that we're going to have to always talk about this season because once we get to that All-Star break, the Yankees are going to be in there. They're going to be in that mix.
Yeah, they always are, and I don't like it. But usually, they never go anywhere. That's all they are. They're just in the mix. They don't do anything. When
was their last World Series? Did you guys talk about that yesterday?
I think it was 2009.
I know it's been a while.
Oh, it's been a long time.
Because I know when they have Derek Jeter, I don't think they ever had a season below 500.
That was the team. See, that was Derek Jeter and those boys. Those
Derek
boys
Jeter, Alex Rodriguez.
Even though I hated Alex Rodriguez, he's a heck of a ball player. And they had the legend in their closer, Ariano Rivera, who I think is just – I'd rather have Rivera than Chapman. So
that's a tight comparison. That one's tight. For me, those are the –
Just imagine if they had both of them at the same time.
Could you imagine Aroldis Chapman being the setup guy for Mariano Rivera? You go out there and the final 2 innings, you ain't hitting a thing. You know your final 6 outs are all going to come out of their hands. I mean, that would be lethal, man.
Chapman's losing a touch a little bit.
Losers in baseball, Cy Young, Aroldis Chapman, and Mariano Rivera are all top 5, in my opinion. Maybe that's recency bias for Aroldis Chapman, but I think his velocity alone, the way he just paints the frame of that strike zone, I think puts him in that conversation because he's just that dominant of a pitcher. Plus,
2009
the World Series. So,
yep, 2009 was the last, and that's also they have never went back since. Like they didn't go and lose. They
no appearances. That's maybe the more surprising part is they've had some pretty good teams over the last 13 years, but no appearances.
That was their last pennant too. 2009 was their last AL pennant. It's been over a decade.
Now they've won the AL East since then, though, right?
Yeah, they've won the AL East. They won it. Besides 2009, it was 2011, 2012. Then they didn't win it until 2019. So then there's a huge gap in there. Now they haven't won it since 2019. So they've been in wild cards.
Hey, fingers crossed. Maybe we're coming on to the end of the Yankees era. It's been long enough. I mean, the fact one AL East title in almost the last decade now.
They've just been playing wild cards.
Yeah.
Which
I don't know. Maybe this is beginning of the end, or we've kind of been in the beginning of the end. This is middle of the end.
I'm not going to be crying about it.
I don't think there's going to be a single baseball fan outside of New York and their bandwagoners upset if they lose. I know there's a huge rivalry between Yankees and Mets fans. How much would you bet, though? Half of those fans will switch right over to the Mets if they have a good season this year and the Yankees turn into crap.
I know. I bet you they would.
Fair weather fans in New York.
There's the same thing with the Giants and the Jets, except they both stink.
They don't have anyone to go to. They went up to Buffalo this year.
Yeah.
Although for most of them, if Washington got good, they'd probably just go over there. I think it's a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
I mean, going all the way from New York City up to upstate, geez, that's a long drive. I think that's probably 6-7 hours.
You know how much I don't like the Yankees. Like, if a girl I'm seeing likes the Yankees, which that has happened before, you know this, it is not good. It is not good. What? It is not.
Okay.
I would not be taking them to Cleveland games if. Like, I don't want to be seeing – if it was Cleveland versus the Yankees, which that's coming up, April 23rd, something like that. That's coming up this month. Like, if I would take a girl to that game and they're a Yankees fan, I don't know what the heck would happen.
You'd leave them there?
I'd leave them
Matt,
there.
That series actually starts tomorrow, 7:05.
Tomorrow! Yeah. It's like they play the same time every year. Last year, I was looking at tickets, and I'm like, then I just realized this year, wow, it's the same time.
Yeah, they're in New York.
Last year they were in Cleveland, so
yeah,
it's different. The only thing I like that's good about the Yankees is their stadium. I'd love to go to their stadium.
Oh,
that's it. That's it.
Although it's not the classic one that they used to have, so
no,
they lost some of the pizzazz.
Stadium.
Still better than Fenway, though.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'd have to go there and compare because I've been in Fenway and I thought Fenway was pretty cool. But I mean, all it is.
Fenway is cool because it's historic. You look at the way it's designed.
It's the oldest stadium.
Yeah, it's the oldest stadium, and they got seats that don't face the playing field. Could you imagine? Imagine spending $500 on tickets to look at the side of somebody's head?
I know. When we went,
what Fenway is.
When we went, our whole row of seats, they had the huge pillars in the stadium.
Yeah. You were right behind one, weren't you?
We were right behind one. They had seats right in front of it. We made my sister sit there.
Good call.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm watching the
Sorry,
game.
Mara.
She doesn't watch.
Well, then we don't got to worry, right? More games going on. Red Sox are getting it handed to them by the Blue Jays. Well, we'll say handed. They're only down 2-0, top of the fourth inning. One down for the Blue Jays. But I love Toronto so far, man. If we were to redraw our potential dark horse teams to take the AL East, man, give me Toronto. I love that team right now.
I love
I've
Toronto.
always kind of been a fan of Toronto. I like the dome, the indoor stadium. The only reason I don't like them is because the Indians had to play them in past playoff series. Now the Guardians will have to play them in the future.
2016.
That's the only one you don't really. That's the only reason you don't like them is like, oh, I have to take them on. Yeah, 2016 right here, AL Central champs.
Oh yeah. We beat them in the ALCS. We beat them to go to the World Series that year, I believe. Or did we beat Boston? No, we beat Boston in the divisional series, and we beat them to go to the World Series. Yeah, I think that's what it was. But I remember Edwin Encarnacion with them, and then the next year he came to us. Like he was pretty mad when we beat him. Like we'd strike him out, he'd be kicking dirt and slamming bats down. Then he came and signed with us. So I guess it was just one of those can't beat them, join them. But
I'm looking at.
We'll see here.
Oh, for the Tigers, Miguel Cabrera needs one more hit. Hit to, I believe 3,000 in total.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
He doesn't have one yet for the Tigers. I just saw it. I was like, ooh, I gotta look.
I used to despise Miguel Cabrera because they would always Detroit back in like the early 2010s would always be Cleveland. They would always be on the top of the Central, and they'd always beat us. We'd always go to their games. We'd go. My dad and I went to Indians versus Tigers, and they'd always beat us. And I could not stand Miguel Cabrera. And you know who else? Victor Martinez came over. I thought he was a traitor. I loved Victor Martinez, and he went and played for Detroit. That was
I had his bobblehead from the Akron Arrows.
I had his Mahoning Valley Scrappers jersey.
Oh, nice.
I was all in on Victor Martinez. I had shirts, jerseys, baseball signed by him. I have baseball right here signed by him, the whole team. I love Victor Martinez. And then he went to the Tigers. I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
That was part of that whole team that we just kind of moved on from with Grady, Sizemore.
CC Sabathia, Jake Westbrook, Fausto Carmona was sick.
You remember told me in the earlier years of that squad who eventually, left and retired.
I was a huge fan of Franklin Gutierrez. Do you remember?
Oh, I love the Gutierrez. Yes. Pedro Cabrera was on that squad. Johnny Peralta.
Oh, yeah. My dad couldn't stand Johnny Peralta. I liked
Nobody could stand. We had the best, worst shortstops in baseball. Yeah. Everybody hated Asdrubal Cabrera and Johnny Peralta. But they were decent at baseball.
I was big Hafner guy, big Travis Hafner.
Oh, yeah.
Then he went and played for the Yankees, and I was mad when he went and played for the Yankees. But I remember all the guys. Jake Westbrook was a man on fire. That dude could pitch. But it happens.
Yeah, well, Twins up over the Royals right now in the top of the second inning. They got a man at home with 2 away, so probably not going to see that next one come in. They lead 1-0 against Kansas City. I like the Twins, but they really haven't done much. I think you got a good chance Kansas City comes back and take that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they can come back.
Next game coming up here at 3:37. Orioles taking on the Athletics. How about them A's, man? In front of 4,000 people, I think it was last night. They're 7-6 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not much faith in them trying to keep this team in town if you're only getting 4,000 people to show up for these games. I know their ticket prices I've heard are outrageous at the moment to go to those games.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're only getting 4,000 people, I mean, I think that's like 20% of their capacity at that massive stadium. I don't know what time that was, but I know today is like a 3:30 game. It'll be empty.
Yeah, everybody's working. I mean, if you're looking at these Cleveland games yesterday, that 1 o'clock, or probably right now, there's nobody there. Everybody's going to work. It's a weekday. They're not going to go. I mean, they're not going to go.
Still, though, I mean, this is a franchise that's on the verge of leaving. If this fan base in this city wants those people, wants this team to stay, I mean, they kind of pull out all the stops.
Yeah. I bet you the ownership's doing that on purpose, making games earlier in the day so people don't show up, so they can lower attendance and they can move.
Are you thinking about the
like they did in Major League? Yeah.
All right.
Drop the attendance. That's all she needed to do. Don't put a bad team together. Just make the games at 1 o'clock. No one will come.
Just make 1 o'clock games, drive ticket prices up, and no one would have showed up. Instead, she put together a bunch of misfits, and they go out there and almost, they go crazy.
Yeah. They go wild.
The wild thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next game up here, Nationals Diamondbacks. I think the Diamondbacks can take this one. You know, I've been up and down on them so far. They won the last game though, 11-2. I think they can get this one as well and potentially put themselves in a nice position.
Yeah, I think so too. I'll give it to them. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I was just, a clip was coming up from the Guardians game from earlier.
Oh, okay.
It's
3-1 now, by the way.
Yeah, I see. We also got two guys on with 2 away, it looks like.
Yeah. Who's up? Who's up at the point?
Well, next game after that, Cardinals, Marlins. Cardinals will take that. After that, Pirates and Cubs. You know, for Mike's sake, I'm gonna take the Pirates.
I'm gonna go Pirates. I'll go Pirates.
They lost yesterday to the Brewers 4-2. I think they can take one against the Cubbies. I don't see a problem with it. Cubbies are going to be a 500 team, it seems, this year. Milwaukee was better, and it was a close one last time. I think Pittsburgh can at least make this one a game.
Yeah, I think so too. That was a pretty decent opening day game. I mean, they only lost 2-1, so I think then they ended up beating them the next day. So I think they can.
Final game of the day, 9:40 game, Texas and Mariners. The Rangers taking on the Mariners. I don't know what, Texas is going to be my dark horse team this year, but I'm going to go Mariners in this one. They've got off to a good start to the season.
I'm going to go Mariners too. I like that Mariners team. But, all right, end of the 5th.
Darn. All right, let's go into the NBA with about 20 minutes left here on the show. Don't know if we're going to have time to get down into NHL, but
I know what the big story is. Devin Booker going to miss 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That is not good. That is not good.
That's going to suck if that's going to be what takes out the Suns, though. Having one of their star guys out here in the playoffs, that's going to be just terrible. I'm going to hate that for them.
Me too.
I mean, that would be like Cleveland losing LeBron James in the first round, back in 2015.
Yeah. Well, we still lost Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving.
Right. But LeBron James still almost got us there to the championship.
Almost. If we would have won back-to-back if they were healthy. No question about it.
I think the possibility is there.
We took them to 6 games. And we were up in that series.
First game tonight, Grizzlies, Timberwolves. Series tied at 1 apiece. Grizzlies took that last one pretty dominantly after the Timberwolves stole that first game. And I don't know, man. I really want to give this to the Timberwolves. I mean, I said it. I think this is the squad that can force 6 games, potentially 7. I'm going to stick with my guns here. I'm going to give game 3 now that they're in Minnesota. I love those northern crowds. They show up for sports. Yeah. We got crappy weather. There's nothing else to do up there. I think you got to say that this home court advantage is going to be rocking for Minnesota. I mean, this is a team that has been desperate for this kind of season. I mean, when was the last time Minnesota was really a relevant team? Kevin Garnett? Kevin Love? I mean,
I can't think before that.
Yeah. Let's look it up here. Playoff.
I remember Kevin Love, man, with the Timberwolves. He was fat.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so they had a series back in 2017, 1-4 against the Rockets. Before then, they've been in the playoffs one time since 2004. The last series they won came back in 2003-2004 season when they beat the Kings in 7 games to go to the Western Conference Finals against Kobe Bryant's Lakers.
Well, that was the end of that.
Yeah, that series went 6.
So did they beat White Chocolate with Jason Williams and the Kings in?
I think so. They beat the Nuggets in the first round. They beat the Kings in the second, lost to the Lakers in the Western Conference.
So 2003 Nuggets. So they beat a rookie Carmelo.
Yeah.
In 2003.
But, I mean, you look all time at this team when it comes to series wins for the Timberwolves. 2. They have won 2 series in the history of their franchise, which dates back to 1989.
Were they even back in the 80s? Were they even a team?
1989 was their first season.
Oh, geez.
They didn't make the playoffs until 96. They lost in the first round, got swept by the Rockets. Then the next year, they make it back to the playoff. They had a great streak going. They made it to 8 straight playoffs. And finally, in that 8th one, they finally make the run, only to get dropped by the Lakers. But no, they lost to the Supersonics in the 97-98 season. The 98-99, they lost to the Spurs. They lost to the Trailblazers after that, lost to the Spurs after that, lost to the Mavericks after that, lost to the Lakers after that, and finally in that 03-04 season got knocked out by the Lakers in the Western Conference Championship. You know what? Just for the sake of history, Minnesota's taking this one.
I want Minnesota so bad now.
Yeah, right? Like, this is
I
it,
want Minnesota. Man. I like the Timberwolves.
I love the Grizzlies this year. John Morant's one of my favorite guys from that class.
Oh, me too.
I love that team and what they've done. But darn it, I want the Timberwolves. I don't know why.
I want Cat, man.
You want it for those guys. I mean, talk about a bunch of guys that have kind of been tossed out, tossed to the wayside. I mean, other than Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns has been thrown out the door when it comes to him being a top center in the league. People just went, oh, he can't win up in Minnesota. Throw him out. D'Angelo Russell, that guy got run out of Los Angeles, got run out of Brooklyn. He's up here now, and he's like, all right, let's go. Let's do it.
Let's go.
I'm taking Minnesota in game 3. I don't care about what stats are saying. I'm always about the stats. Screw the stats. I'm
still going to go Grizzlies here.
No.
I'm going to go Grizzlies, though. I like Minnesota, though. They thought they had their guy a while ago with Jimmy Butler. They thought they got Butler. Even Derrick Rose was doing great off the bench. Remember that one game he scored like 52 points off the bench. And then they always fall apart. Rose went back to his usual stuff with the injuries, and Butler won it out. And now he's with the Heat. So just imagine seeing that, Minnesota versus Miami.
Bro, maybe the one thing I want, though, for Jimmy Butler, finally win a championship. He never won one in high school, didn't win one in college, and through over a decade in the league, he still hasn't gotten one.
He's been there once.
He's played in one championship game. That's insane. That a player of his caliber didn't win anything in high school or college. I mean, college more understandable, but high school.
I want this for him in the Heat, and I want Kyle Lowry.
You're on the same side, man. You still want it for the Suns.
Yeah, I want to see Suns Heat so bad. Like that would be the ultimate NBA Finals. Like that.
I think with this season, that would be. That's the perfect ending.
That's kind of flashback to the 90s a little bit with the Suns and, the Heat. I don't know if the Heat were good in the 90s, but the Suns were. But, I mean, it's kind of an olden day NBA Finals. It just feels like it. Like, there's no Lakers,
massive
LeBron.
Superstars either.
No LeBron, no Kevin Durant. You have old Chris
Curry.
Paul, and going up, you have old Chris Paul and old Kyle Lowry. And Victor Oladipo. Then you throw Jimmy Buckets in there. So I was talking to my aunt.
Too, man. That guy was just workhorse in Indiana for a while.
Yep. Who? Oladipo. Oh yeah. Oladipo. And you know who I really wish was still there? Dragic. I wish Dragic was still on that team. I really do. But
Goran Dragic was awesome.
I like Tyler Herro. I'm still trying to get my aunt's like, where do you want to go this summer again? I'm like, I want to go to Miami. I want to go to Florida. Like, they got to be in the NBA Finals. If we don't go, at least we'll be in Florida when they win it. Right. Go down and party. So
next series, Mavericks and Jazz. They're also tied 1-up. With Luka Doncic, I think, being questionable still. I'm going to check this out here. I think I still want to give the edge over to the side of the Jazz. You got Donovan Mitchell in playoff mode. I mean, when you talk about certain guys, when they get to playoff, they become a huge different monster. I mean, you're talking about guys like Donovan Mitchell, but LeBron James. I mean, everyone always talk about playoff James was 1,000 times better than regular season James. Jordan in the playoffs was unstoppable once he got his team going. And I think Donovan Mitchell, what he's done so far in his early career, if he keeps this up, he's going to be in that conversation of one of the best playoff guys ever. Playoff Rondo. He made a name on just being that guy in the playoffs. And I think Donovan Mitchell can be that guy. Donnie playoff. I mean, he can be the man.
Yeah, Yeah, I think so. They haven't gotten out of the first round though, have they? In the past.
Oh, I don't remember now. But they
I don't think
still
so.
have him listed as questionable, Luca. So
I like Dallas, but I want.
he's going to
I'm
be a
rooting for
game
the
time
Jazz
decision.
here. I'm rooting for the Jazz here just because all the crap they've been through in the playoffs. Like they haven't made it. They haven't been out
Yeah.
there. They haven't made it past the first round. I know they haven't. Because
No, they were in the conference semis last year
all
against the
right,
Clippers.
last year. Okay,
Before that, they haven't been to the Western Conference Finals though since the 06-07 season when the Spurs then won the Western Conference Finals and then won the whole thing.
Against Cleveland.
But yeah, I mean, you go back to what this Jazz team was in, the 90s, and that was their era, man. I mean, they dominated that region, and, you kind of hope a guy like Donovan Mitchell can put on that track. They've kind of had that intermittent start, and I think what Donovan Mitchell really needs, he needs that number 2 guy out there in Utah because I feel like they have some great players. Jordan Clarkson off the bench will be huge, but my mindset right now is – he's kind of having that similar start that, Jordan did in the playoffs when he had good, kind of okay teams around him and he played
got
good.
Rudy Gobert.
He lost. Yeah, he's got a great defensive guy, but Rudy Gobert always flops in the playoff, man.
Yeah.
He's always one of the biggest playoff flops. Yeah. He needs to put on some more muscle, in my opinion.
He's John Stockton. He needs his mailman. He needs the mailman.
Because I feel like, they got 2 other guys. They need to make that big 3. They need somebody else out there. And I think when they do that, they're going back to the Western Conference Finals. They're one guy away. And I don't think that's unreasonable to see. I mean, they got a 5 seed this year. And you don't need to be a high seed to win the playoffs. You just need to win your games.
You just got to get in.
That's all it's about is getting in. Throw seeds out the window at that point. This ain't college basketball. Throw that out of here. Well, final game going in. Golden State leads the Nuggets 2-0 in the series. Jordan Poole is the leading scorer right now for Golden State at nearly 30 points a game for this team.
I'm calling this right now, right here. They are going to sweep the former MVP out of the league out of the first round of the playoffs. They're going to be swept. Golden State's going to sweep them.
I agree.
They're going to take care of business.
I mean, isn't this the same thing I was just kind of talking about? Jokic has nobody else to go to on this Nugget squad.
No. There's no Jamal Murray's been hurt for a while. Like a year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking right now, trying to find the roster. Of course, it's not going to show up for me. But,
that's the team I was thinking of. They never do anything. Denver never gets out of that first, second round.
I mean, you brought in Aaron Gordon this past year from Orlando where he was doing great. And he gets 7 points in that last game. I mean, an old Jeff Green from Cleveland, an older Will Barton, who was a promising small forward 7 years ago. Will Barton.
Oh, man. I didn't even know he was still in the league, man. Jeff Green now. Green was
cool Monte Morris, fine. Bones Highland's a nice young guy. Old Austin Rivers played 20 minutes, got 7 points. JaMychal Green, Bryn Forbes, DeMarcus Cousins, he's still there. Vlatko Kamkar, and Zeke Naji.
DeMarcus Cousins. Who's he playing for?
Denver.
What?
You're right. No, but
I didn't even know. I didn't even know this until right now.
I didn't even know. I'm not even going to lie. With the Warriors right now, if they keep that up, they're going to be right back in it, man.
Yeah,
if in my opinion, right now, if you look at things and the Suns get knocked out by either Dallas or Utah, or even New Orleans at the moment because they don't have Devin Booker, Golden State becomes the new favorite again.
I think so.
To take it.
I think so.
I mean, because I'm not that impressed with any Western Conference teams. Like, overall, Memphis, yes. Golden State, yes. New Orleans, no. Dallas, Utah, no. Neither one's a good playoff team. Denver, not a chance. Memphis, yeah, as I said, I like them. Minnesota, I love them, but they don't do anything in the playoffs. The Western Conference, everyone talked with LeBron James in the East. Oh, it was an easy East. This was an easy West. And this was a cupcake West this season.
Yeah.
Golden State and Phoenix, or Phoenix and Memphis, that's guaranteed your conference finals unless chaos ensues. And that's going to come down to Devin Booker. I'm interested to see what happens now with him being.
If they can get out of this first round, which I think they can, I don't think the Pelicans are going to get them. But I hope
they already got one of them.
Yeah, I know they got one of them.
They took one of the road games. That's what you got to do. Steal one on the road.
2 to 3 weeks. So, I mean, he'll be back by second round. So,
is that second round when that would go?
It might be. I think so. Yeah. When does second round start?
That is a good question.
NBA finals start June 2nd.
Yeah.
I looked at that today. They could go to June 19th. If that's Game 7.
Looks like Game 7s for the first round wrap up May 1st.
Okay.
So that will be the latest this round goes. So you're looking 2 weeks from now would be May 5th.
Yeah.
And if you go a little bit deeper, he could miss the first couple games
in the
next round.
He could.
But if it's 2, he may only miss 1. And with this being playoffs, I think he probably gets back as quick as possible.
Oh, yeah. I think so, too. But, man, DeMarcus Cousins, I totally forgot about him after he left, Golden State. I know he was the Kings for a long time, and then Pelicans and Warriors.
Oh, and now he's trash talking the Kings, too.
Yeah, I don't even know where he went after that. It says Houston, the Clippers. I don't even remember him on the Milwaukee Bucks. It says he played for the Bucks. Do you remember him on the Bucks? I don't remember him on the Bucks. It says right here he played for Milwaukee.
When?
This is last year. 22, 20, 21, 22. It doesn't say he won a championship, though. I think they might have cut him.
Look, I think I remember him signing, but I don't remember him being a part of the team.
Let's look. He was waived on January 6, 2022. He was waived. I don't even remember that. What the heck?
Well, props to him for, getting paid.
He'll go to the Lakers now. Bet you he'll go with LeBron.
Yeah.
Another old guy in there. Go ahead.
I don't know what LeBron's going to do at this point because I feel like he is at a point. If he just came out and said he's retiring right now, I don't think anyone would really be that surprised.
He could get away with it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But he's not going to. He wants to play with his son.
I know he wants to play with his son. He's going to just work it out. I don't know. Maybe this is part of him putting together like a 4-year tank until his son comes up. Or 2 years, Lakers are going to tank, get some good draft picks these next couple of years. Then Bronny comes and joins them.
Or he just signs with the worst team in the league.
Huh?
Or he can just go sign with the worst team in the league and they pick his son.
Or he makes the Lakers the worst team in the league, gets his son in there, and they go win a championship.
Probably not. He'd be too old.
Oh, this is LeBron James. I mean,
if that happens, it's rigged. I mean, a lot of people say it was rigged when Cleveland picked him. That first pick.
I think there might be some truth to that, but come on, how could the NBA not let that guy go to Cleveland?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you only get a chance like that every now and then to actually give somebody their hometown guy. I think that moment was a moment the NBA had to rig.
I guess.
If it was. But, that's neither here nor there. That is, the Casual Sports Podcast. I'm Alek Koberna. That's Matt and Morrison. Matt and Mike will be rejoining the show tomorrow. I'm off. I got to do some filming for Youngstown State University. Softball game tomorrow. Should be a fun one.
Right.
Been a good team so far this year. But that'll do it. Alek Koberna, Matt Morrison, Power Hour, coming up next on YSNLive.com. Have a good night.